Hi everyone, so let's discuss how changes can improve your Hoya. This is my Hoya Rosita, and this has always loved the direct sun. But ever since I've moved to the hill country, I just wanted to safeguard this because I had to repot this because it went through an extreme decline. Therefore, I repotted it and shaded it. New media, bigger pot, and all the leaves fell because the climate got extremely cold and it came from Colombo where it was extremely hot. Where was it before? It was right over to the other side, right where in the middle. 2 weeks ago, I brought it directly onto the sun, and the whole day through it's receiving direct sun. It seems to be helping the Hoya to throw out new leaves. Another tip I want to give you will base on my Hoya elliptica, and you can take it for all Hoyas. You can see the new leaves. Right, there are tiny new leaves. There's a lot of them in different sizes, not only tiny ones. But this happened because it got hold of the roots of my Vanda tessellata. Okay, so wherever this goes, this go, and this got a hold of this Vanda roots on its own. I did not help it. You guys know I have a habit of trellising my Hoyas pretty tight onto a pole. Right? Even though I try not to, but I know I do it. When I go through my older videos, I see that I am somewhat holding them tight to a trellis. But here you can see in some Hoya cases it works on their own too, and it's very natural and very calming to look at it. Every day I come out and I look at this because I can see something new each day. Today, not only the new leaves, I saw a reactivated pinnacle too, right below that Vanda root. So letting them trellis on their own is a very good tip for Hoyas too, but it has to be upward manner. This is my Hoya Natalie, which I actually repotted 1.5 months ago, but the video came out to you guys 1 month ago. Until 3-4 days ago, this didn't do nothing. But now there are 4 growth points, be it leaves or shoots, that I'm witnessing, so I am elated. What you need to do here is to keep up with your root enhancer, that is a P high in an NPK fertilizer. I use a 10-52-10. Use it in between your fertilizers until you see signs of growth, and keep strengthening the top layer by adding river rock or decorative pebbles so the cuttings would not move and disturb the roots that are growing in the media. And I only gave it filtered sunlight all throughout the day. As you can see, they will thrive if they are on the same spot. No matter how big your community pot is, no matter how many cuttings you have inserted, if you don't pump onto it, move it, or if something doesn't fall on it, your community pot is totally safe. At the same time, if it's kept outside during the night time, please come out and inspect the surface and see if there are snails or slugs or any type of thing that is crawling about, and remove them. All of these things can disturb the root growth of your pot, because the snails or whatever, they can munch on the roots and destroy the roots. Minimize the disturbances and all your cuttings will root. This is my Hoya Natalie and this is my Hoya Obvata. I recently repotted both of these, but Hoya Natalie was repotted 1.5 months ago and Hoya Obvata was repotted 2 weeks ago. Both pots have rerooted and newly rerooting cuttings in the pots. Between these two, Hoya Obvata was quick to give me new leaves. The lesson is different Hoyas may take their different times to root itself and get acclimated to the pot. And I'm also sure that the unhealthy cuttings which are turning a healthy green will also give me new shoots or leaves, so I can make a good specimen out of this Hoya Obvata too. This Hoya was very stagnant for the longest time, so I decided to repot it. All the cuttings were repotted to a cleaned out pot and new media. No decorative pebbles on the top, but this decided to give me a new leaf which is bigger than the former leaves. I'm not touching the leaf because it still hasn't hardened up. So if your Hoya hasn't done anything and has been stagnant for over 6 months but has not dropped any leaves, you can repot it. Also, maybe change its positioning and you might see new leaves or new growths. This is my Hoya lambii. You can see I have not repotted it for the longest time and it has been stagnant. There's a lot of moss growth and all the decorative pebbles are also askew. But I did not see any decline in this Hoya either. No leaves yellowing, no root rot, no leaves dropping. So if there's nothing wrong there, what I thought was I should change the position and see. Well, it worked. Now this is receiving partial shade and half of the pot is always exposed to the sun. Since it already has moss, I have nothing to lose. If the plant is happy inside moss, who am I to complain? I did not up the nutrition that I'm giving it, but the same I gave as well as to the other Hoyas. And it totally worked. You already saw 2 new leaves. There was a third one which I accidentally broke. Now that the leaves are taking time to grow and harden up, we'll let it be in the same spot. Not only it is important not to disturb the pot when the cuttings are rooting, but not to disturb the pot when the leaves are getting bigger and hardening up. Otherwise, you will disturb their growth and the leaves will harden up prematurely, which in a case like Hoya lambii is very unappealing. Someone can definitely think that this plant has got malnourished or going through some root rot. It's better not to disturb its growth process, whichever it might be, roots, leaves, vines or blooms. That is why I wanted to reiterate all these points by taking each of my Hoyas for your education purpose. Just to recap, give more sunlight if you feel like your Hoya needs it. Do not trellis your plants very tightly onto your trellises and try to give them natural means of trellising themselves or climbing themselves up. Do not disturb their rooting process, no matter how long it will be, as long as your leaves are not dropping. Some Hoyas may have a quick growth potential and some may not. Repot your Hoyas if they have been stagnant for over 6 months and give them a brand new space to be. Lastly, if nothing's going wrong for your Hoya or if it's not on a decline, change the positioning of your Hoya to a brighter, directly or indirectly sunlit space to see new growths in your Hoyas. Thank you guys for watching. I will be back with a new update very soon with a viewer question this time. Until then, bye bye.